Hello, poor people. How are you today? Very quickly, I'm going to explain how intellect isn't a prerequisite to success. Yes, I've spoken extensively on this subject. I've given analogies. I think I have two or three videos addressing this issue. But tonight's discourse will be different because I watched those videos back and I'm not particularly satisfied with the way I handle things. It's either my energy was low or I forgot to add something. So I promise you, in tonight's video, I would use metaphors, anecdotes, quotes, every and anything to insist you understand what I'm trying to broadcast. Intellect isn't a prerequisite to success. You see, my friend, life is very objective. It's at the mercy of your interpretation of experience. Every single thing that happens is objective. It's only at the mercy of how you perceive things. Very recently, the United States announced a criminal who is going to be unalived through lethal injection. Now we celebrate this kind of events and mourn the bombing of a hospital containing 6-year-olds. That crime is a very objective statement, or the outcome is very objective, which is the unaliving of individuals. The reason we would celebrate one and mourn the other boils down to our experience and morality, or at least what we perceive to be morality or to be moral, good and bad. So unaliving is an objective statement. It gets categorized as a consequence of the experience of the individual or the beliefs of the person. It's an objective statement. And yes, generalization is how the world functions in general, if I say lion, it will bite my hand. In general, it might be in a nice mood, but I'm not willing to find out. In general. So are there exceptions where you meet a lion and it's a domestic one? Of course, are there exceptions of realities or experiences in your life that are not objective? Say, for instance, the loss of a loved one. It's not an objective reality. There are very little profiting that can come from the loss of someone you love deeply. So there are scenarios like that. But in general, everything boils down to your perception or the interpretation of events. I, I feel like we're diverging. Let's stay on course. I recall years ago, the first time I subscribed for a gym, I think it was $2 at the time, and $4 if you wanted a personal trainer. So my first day in the gym, I worked as hard as possible, and the next day, something interesting happened. I woke up swollen. I mean, bandage swollen. My head hurt, my back hurt, every single thing was aching in my body. I quickly rushed to the chemist. She prescribed some kind of medication for me. And for 2 days straight, I didn't attend the gym. I didn't respond to the coach's call. And finally, when I went there the next day and explained to him the situation, he casually responded with, "Yeah, it's normal." And the Nigerian in me refused to believe him. I thought it was some kind of strategy to keep me beholden to this gym, or at least to keep me attending. But as I grew and seeing that event in retrospect, And of course, with the decimation of information, every single person understands he was right. He's telling the truth, or he was telling the truth all along. The same thing with you. You might have failed, something bad might have happened, or there's some kind of wrong experience and you are aching. Whereas, unknowing to you, this is the exact experience that would make you who you are. Now, let's link intellect to our examples. The reason most of you work as hard as possible, get up by 9, clock out by 5, or in any kind of venture you apply hard work to, it's not necessarily to become competent or to produce the outcome, but to give yourself permission to receive the outcome. You now believe, because of your dogged work ethic, because of how much you sacrifice, because of the blood, tears, sweat, and every single thing you've done to achieve that result, you feel worthy to receive it. But if you're in that rare 1% who can bypass the rigorous work ethic and adopt that mindset, it's only a matter of time before it's yours. And please, this is not a content to dismiss hard work or to dismiss a dogged work ethic. That's far from it. But if you struggle with motivation, if you struggle with discipline, it's most likely you're operating from an external standpoint. You want to do something to feel some way. Whereas if you feel that way, doing the thing becomes natural. Intellect is not a prerequisite to success. If you believe you are successful, if you truly believe you're in that top 1% of individuals who deserve success, you would naturally take steps that gravitate you towards the desired outcome. To bypass the work ethic, bypass the rigorous steps, embody that person, and you'll be fine. You don't need to read one more book, listen to one more podcast, or do something external before you truly believe that result is for you. Let me make something clear. There are 18-year-olds, 19-year-olds, multi-millionaires who live a life you would never, in 100 years, even if your whole bloodline was to be put on a mortgage, it's still ingraspable, let alone incomprehensible to you, of the attainment of that lifestyle. Yet, there are 18, 19-year-old multi-millionaires, children who are yet to hit poverty, puberty, living a life you only see on the internet. And you somehow believe you are disenfranchised from that result, that people like you cannot become wealthy. What do you say to these degenerate streamers, people who can articulate a sentence or can read a book coherently with millions of dollars? How do you dispute that fact? You're not intelligent, obviously. So how do you reconcile just stupidity, which is at its extreme, by the way, to the availability of finances? Exactly. So give yourself permission to have, and you'll be fine. As always, my friends, it's a pleasure speaking to you. I'll see you in the next one.